Wonderful. Let's see if I'm live. Let's see if I sound good. I do this every time. Oh, well, am I alive? But I should probably stop mumbling. That's always fun, isn't it? When I just mumble my way through my videos or my content, because I'm a content creator. There I am, practicing live. Woohoo! Let's hear. Let's see if it sounds good. There I am. Yeah, I love this. Fuck OBS. OBS can suck my dick, bro. I'm back to doing streaming from the YouTube app. It is until I actually get a decent setup. So yeah. Anyways, welcome to live drawing, right? Drawing live, drawing while alive. Also very difficult, but yeah, draw with me. Whatever, draw with me. Get entertained. Whatever the fuck you want to do, right? But I'm gonna try to finish this drawing. Again, it's so muddied. It's so muddied. Like this, I know you can't tell what's going on, but for those of you who are coming in just this video, this is a robot, right? This is like a robot. This is the leg going back. This is like you see, you probably didn't even notice that this is the arm area, right? This is like a receptacle that's coming out. This is, I guess, some sort of vehicle that this person is on, and they're trying to fix this, which is why I tried highlighting this with green. Right, these are people. This is like my shitty attempt at drawing a Segway, because obviously I don't know what it looks like, right? And then this is like a machine attached to this receptacle, and they're like obviously like this. The idea is like there's a robot that's being worked on, and this is like the really unnecessary machine that was drawn because I made a huge mistake because I made like diagonal lines here, but I didn't know what the fuck I want to do with them. It was like a super vague idea, so obviously I had to turn it to something that made sense. And that's it. That's where we're at right now, right? And yeah. Cool. That's it. I guess I've explained my drawing. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's draw. Right? So I spent a cumulative 10 minutes today looking at a tank reference on Pinterest. Right? So I want to have a tank in the background so that it scales and it sets the scale of these machines and how big they are. Right? So like these people are obviously essentially like 1/4, 1/5 of the size. And from looking online, tanks are basically like double the size of a person. So I just got to scale this piece of shit back. And that's obviously the horizon line, right? Because that's why I set the door entrance that way. But now obviously this guy's going off the horizon line, but we can have something right here, and we should have the tank. Yo, Viggy, hello, EGV man official. What's good? Not much. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna draw this tank from my mind. Yeah, draw along if you can, right? I know many of my fans seem to be in school most of the time, right? So I don't know if you guys have the opportunity to, but either way, if you can draw along. So I'm just trying to think of the big shapes that create this. Adembi, what the fuck does that even mean? Adembi? Is this lingo of the younger generation? All right, guys. Today we're Adembiing. It's like night here. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Anyways, okay. So let's try to figure out what I want. I can't draw right now. No worries. I guess if you're entertained, watch me. You know, if you're a fan of mine, you know how this fucking goes. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes being like, what do I do? What do I do? And then slowly but surely, I place one line every second, right? So, or sorry, one line every minute. So, yeah, don't apologize. I mean, it's nice to have you on, right? Feel free to watch if you want to, fuck off if you want to, like, subscribe, give me retention if you need to, which you must, I believe. But anyways, let's try to think out loud of what the tank shapes I saw were. So it's basically like it's a box on the bottom, and I need to try maybe a different perspective, right? Because I've been doing a lot of things going there. I would like to, and I actually want to scale this quite drastically as well, right? I want to scale this quite drastically to showcase that this is actually very large, like this gate as well. So maybe I could draw a couple tanks actually. So maybe I can draw one here. And okay, so what is the shape, right? So, and I'll draw one facing, we see the side of it, because I haven't been doing much where we see the side of it, right? So the shape I recall, it's basically it's a box with diagonal cutouts at the bottom, right? Like that's the larger box, and then on top of it is a smaller box that's going that's tapering inwards. It's a tapering box, right? And then those are like the big shapes, and then there's a cylinder coming out. So why don't I try with the cylinder first? But I obviously need to keep spacing in mind. So make a tank that shoots flowers. I'm not doing that shit. Fuck off. All right, I'm trying to create a scene. You're fucking with my composition. All right, maybe I'll have a flower decal right on it. Bro, give me a fucking second. Let me think. Jesus Christ. I forgot about that with the YouTube app. There's always comments coming up, and you can see them. No, don't, please don't apologize. You know I'm just fucking around. But yeah, seriously, don't tell me what to do or I'll kill myself. In Minecraft, right? But no, stop saying sorry for saying sorry. Jesus Christ, are you Canadian? Because this is the Canadian thing to do, it seems, right? Do not worry, my friend. Do not worry. Simply enjoy the content if it's enjoyable, or uh, what's the opposite of enjoy? What is the opposite of enjoy? Wow, that's how you know I'm such a positive person. I don't know the opposite of enjoy. Clearly, I must be the happiest person there is. I can't even think of it. I'm sure there's 100% a word enjoy. Fuck that. Okay, anyways, let's try to. Okay, if we're thinking, yeah, don't enjoy, obviously, but I'm trying to think of the antonym for enjoy, right? Okay, so if we're thinking compositionally, right, maybe I want to do something like this, and then it's like a zigzag. So perhaps I do want a tank that's right around here, right? So, and that should actually be relatively okay, because again, I do want, I want to set scale, right? I really want to set scale, and it's difficult because I'm trying to think about how this could all make sense. I've already messed a lot of things up, but I only have an hour to draw today, so I want to get something done. Jesus Christ, it's been what, like fucking 20 minutes? I've only been talking, so that seems par for the course. But okay, so compositionally, because not that I understand composition, but compositionally, let's just say that word to make it sound as if I know what the fuck I'm saying, right? If I want to direct it this way, and I hope this makes it very clear that this is the unedited art process, right? I'm not a genius, right? I'm only 3 years and 2 months into drawing, right? From imagination or just learning draftsmanship skills. So for me, a lot of it is just trying to understand what the fuck even makes sense. Not sleeping till Vicky finishes the drawing. Jesus Christ, no, please. All right, I have an hour because I have to go to piano at 4. It's at 4:30, right? So I do need to leave. It's 2:30 right now. So I'm gonna try to draw for an hour in a bit. But let's just fuck it. Let's just think about scale. Okay, well maybe the tank can be larger. And then okay, and then I'll have a second tank here which sets the scale. And that way it'll be nice because they'll go here and they'll go here. And then I don't know, maybe we can have like a truck there or something. Something. Who knows? But okay, so let's start with yeah, let's start with having this. Okay, the vanishing point will be here, and then we'll have another one that's way off into the distance, right? So let's start by just fucking drawing the goddamn thing. But I want to start with the wheels because I want to make sure that it's not like obviously overlap is part of drawing, like things will be behind and over, but I just want to get, let's see, and I believe it was 4 wheels, right? I believe it was 4 wheels. Okay, and we'll make it go this way. We'll make this be a bit of a harsher perspective, right? Because obviously we want things to make sense within the space. So yeah, we'll make it so we see the top more. But okay, but I have to think about the fucking composition. Jesus Christ, bro. And I have to think about the perspective as well. So clearly, hmm, something like that makes sense, maybe. Okay, fuck it. Well, we'll start with the wheels here, right? We'll start with the wheels right at the edge, right here. Okay. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. No, fuck it. God damn it. I have to do something like this, don't I? Yeah, okay, so we'll do something like that. Well, we'll just have to commit and see how it goes. But let me move, and again, just for scale's sake, let's make these wheels much smaller. Right? Let's make these wheels much smaller. Just do it. Fuck off. I know. I'm well aware. Don't think so much. I have to think. I have to think. I mean, I'm doing it right now, and yeah, there's a little bit of lag, so you're not gonna really see me doing it, but until a little bit after. But I'm telling you right now, drawing is thinking. So do not fall under the impression that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Because all this planning is important. Like all this planning is extremely important, right? It's actually what creates the drawing is the planning, and trying to think about all these different things. So yeah, do be aware that the thinking is a big part of it. I do agree that obviously at one point you have to make the decision, but I'm trying to make sure that I actually know what I want to do as well, right? Like I do want to make sure I know I have a relative idea of I know that I want to what I want to do, because otherwise it is going to be much more difficult to actually even have a direction, right? And by the way, these little jet outs, this is what I remembered from the Pinterest drawing that I saw, right? After this, it becomes a bit vague, but I'm pretty sure these just go over like that, right? I do be aware, yeah, exactly. I do be do. But let's see, and then what do the wheels look like? But on top of that, we have to think about the larger shape, right? So this is okay, and then I believe it goes down. No, it doesn't go down. Oh yeah, okay, I know what happens. It goes yeah, it's like this. It juts back inward. And then yeah, okay, I guess we'll just follow this. And this is how we like this is how it's gonna establish that this tank is fucking gigantic, right? Because or sorry, that these items are gigantic because this tank is actually much smaller in comparison. And I already fucked up the composition in terms of like spacing, right? It's already not the most adequately spaced, but this is how you learn. This is how you learn, right? And again, like the large shapes, I have to think about that. So that's and it's okay, let's see. It was a trapezoidal shape. I believe it juts back a little bit. I'm just trying to think right now. I'm just trying to think of what was happening. I don't even know if what I'm doing here is correct, but we're just gonna have to go with it, right? Attaching it like this. And let's see, something like that. We'll maybe just have symmetry on the other side because we're not sure. Because again, like who's my fucking visual library? This is again, this entire drawing is based off of fucking 5 minutes, half-assed, not half-assedly, but just yeah, I was trying to intensely focus on a tank drawing, right? Try to understand what it was made of, right? Or like the larger shapes. But you have to remember, this is just purely from 5 minutes of just trying to analyze something, right? And I have trouble. I have trouble making sense of how wheels are also connecting in this context. So you're gonna see like, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of overlap because I don't really understand or recall because it's all recall or recall, right? But maybe something like this. Maybe there's a cutout here. My lines are really bad today. I mean, my lines are always bad. I have really abysmal lines, but that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? Having shit lines is one step closer to having less shit lines. And then here's the thing everybody is gonna dislike, and that takes years. Right, that takes years. But I want it now. I want to be good now. All right, good luck. Good luck being good after 5 attempts, right? Now, what do the wheels look like? I'm trying to think. Right, I believe actually maybe I could just do something like this. Size does not matter. That's a complete lie. Size is the only thing that matters. Ask me. I'm a professional in saying that size matters. Therefore, I know what I'm talking about. Right, but let's just do these wheels. Okay. See, I had to like fraud it a little bit because I was like, you know what? Let's actually give them a little bit more rounding. Right? Oh, I see. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. But yeah, I do hope whoever watches this gets an idea of the process of drawing from imagination and also like the specifically what I'm thinking about, right? Because it's not magic. It's just layers and layers of technical skill and then kind of just going into it, right? In terms of like trying to figure it out. And while I'm doing this, I'm still trying to keep the overall perspective in mind. And I don't remember, like I'll tell you this right now, I don't remember what the larger shape here was, but I have to make a decision, right? I have to make a decision, and that decision is just going to be, okay, let's just say it is angled like so. Yeah, I can see what you're doing. Yeah, see, and this just, by the way, the only reason I can draw this is because I have spent 5 minutes on Pinterest looking at one tank specifically, being like, because I just typed in tank, I looked through it, I scrolled for like 15 seconds, and I was like, oh, that one looks pretty good, pretty interesting shapes, right? But I'm telling you right now, the reason I can observe something for 5 minutes and then roughly get its likeness down is because of all the practice I've done with the fundamentals. It's not the other way around. You don't get better at drawing tanks by drawing tanks. You get better at understanding the shapes of the thing you observe, however long it may be, by being able to draw more complicated shapes, right? It is the other way around. I'm like, yes, you do get better at drawing tanks by drawing tanks, but I'm saying like if you actually want to draw tanks at any angle, right, and design your own tanks, which is what I mean when I say I want to be able to draw blank, because I want to be able to draw blank from imagination in a design that I like and understand the fundamentals of that blank. That's what I mean when I say I want to be able to draw blank. So to be able to understand the fundamentals of quote unquote any blank means to be able to draw complicated forms, right? To understand complicated forms. That's what it means. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope you really, really learned a lot. My Patreon is in the description. Or like Antonio from ArtWad is completely right in that people just want to draw the complicated shit, but they don't want to understand what goes underneath it, right? Like they don't want to put in the time, and they think it's boring. But I will regurgitate this forever and ever. It is not boring. It is difficult because if it was boring, you'd be able to do it 100 times over, right? That's just a fact. If it was boring, you'd be able to do it because it's not stimulating. It's boring. Boring is easy. It's not easy. It's extremely difficult, which is why many, many, many artists cope saying, it's so boring. I don't want to do boxes. It's boring. It's like, no, you don't want to do boxes because it literally challenges your brain in a way you've never conceived. And you want to hide behind the word boring because you're coping with your lack of ability rather than being humble and understanding that, hey, I can get better at this because many other people have gotten better at this. Right? So hashtag Viggy lays the truth. Something like that. Viggy lays pipe on the truth. There you go. You fuck the truth into submission with words, with beautiful words. See, I made mistakes here because I wasn't sure how I want this to jut out. Oh, Troblados, how's it going? How's it going, Troblados? What's Wagwanin? You haven't pulled up in a while. I assume you have school. How dare you educate yourself rather than being on my channel 24/7, but I forgive you. You're here now, so I forgive you. It's okay. Come, my child, let me embrace you in sweet cold cash. Once I get it, of course. Until then, fuck off. But yeah, and like you see again, you guys can see, right? Like even with how bad my lines are, let me let it zoom out, right? Maybe you can see if you're full screen. Even with how bad my lines are, because I understand form, I can really really fraud a lot of things, right? But let's see. It doesn't really look like a tank, but we'll just have to make do. Add some lines here. I finished school last year. All right, then you now have no excuse. Why haven't you been on my channel 24/7? What have you been doing apart from not being here? And don't tell me you have a life. That's not allowed. Not when you're a hashtag ViggyFammer. Let's see. There you go. Something like that. Now I did see a bunch of this as well, but this really just comes down to how clean my lines can be, which will be not much, right? Which just will be that they're not that clean, but it's okay, right? Because even tiny details like these little railings, will add depth. Even if, as you can see, my hand is very shaky, my lines are very uncertain, right? But I'm practicing simplified bodies. Your lines are not that bad. I have seen worse. I mean, yeah, of course, but my standards are very high too, and I know my lines can be a lot better, right? And it's good to constantly remind myself that there's more improvement to be had, right? But anyway, sorry, let me just finish reading that. I'm practicing simplified bodies to learn how to rotate them in space. Amazing, amazing. I shall join you on that journey, whether either this year or next year, because right now I'm going through the ArtWad portrait route, and then after portraits, it'll be the figure route. But it's going to be a long journey, right? So I'm excited for it. I'm very, very excited for it. Okay. And then, okay, so I've seen like little railings, things like these, right? Maybe there's even just like a cutout here, right? Maybe. See, I don't know. Like, this is the part where I kind of make shit up, but who knows if it's actually accurate, right? And we will close that off right? Because we do want this tank to look relatively decent. Um, and this is probably gonna start looking less like a tank and more like some other random bullshit, but the point is we're gonna try to figure it out, right? So here, let's see, we want, I'm pretty sure the tank has like a thing where it goes back. So we'll follow that language. Yeah, see, that already looks more tank-like because it's a trapezoid almost, right? I saw a method of evolving where you copy a reference and keep adjusting it until it looks similar, understanding as much as possible from the reference. Yeah, yeah, I mean that is how like focus observation works, right? It's completely true. Like I think there's 100% merit to that, which just comes down to observation, try to get the reference down, observe, try to get the reference down. But again, it's like observation with what intent? Are you observing simply to get it line for line, or are you observing to get it down with proportional forms in 3D space? Like are you thinking in 3 dimensions, right? So I think that's a huge part of it as well. So now I just have to think like, okay, I don't know what the fuck else this tank had. So, but I do remember this roughly, right? And actually that is off perspective, or this is off perspective. That, because I did this afterwards, but we just have to go with it and give large space. Bro, when will you be free? Uh, probably Sunday. Oh yeah, yeah, sorry, because you have a different name. Or I think it's the same name, but yeah, this is you're the guy who was trying to figure out the Discord thing with me, right? Right. Yeah, probably Sunday. You gotta give me time, bro. Like I actually, I'm telling you, I'm not one to rely on when it comes to consistency. When it comes to replying to people, everything else is consistent in my life, but not, but not my actual communication. Clearly, right? So I do apologize, but to understand how it works in 3D, yeah, exactly, exactly. Right. That's 100% how it is. Now, what else did this tank have? It had like tiny things here. And I guess to make it clearer that this is the same texture in terms of the wheel, we could try something like this, right? I know it kind of just looks like rubber and there's not much, like I don't really understand wheel texturing, or I don't understand texturing in general. So this is all just kind of like a half-assed attempt at making it seem as if it makes sense, which is a lot of drawing for imagination. Is just a half-assed attempt at trying to make, at least my experience, is like constantly thinking, constantly trying to think about the perspective, constantly trying to figure things out. But oh god, am I getting sick? I hope not. But just half-assed attempts, and then you fail upwards, right? Because you just stick with making half-assed attempts, right? Like this probably doesn't look that good. I mean, if I think it doesn't look that good, and I'm God, right? Then it must not look that good. God of observation and aesthetics, but definitely not the God of application, clearly. But yeah, I mean, it adds contrast, which is fine, which is Gucci Gango. 6 people watching, and not every single one of them telling me how amazing I am. I can't fucking believe this. But let's see, what other shapes did I see? Well, if I can't think of any other shapes right now, I could at least just add little consistent indications of the perspective, right? We could still do that, you know? So I could do something like this, and let's just say this is something that's hatched in, right? What is it actually? Who knows? Because I haven't studied it to that extent. I might be talking nonsense, but from watching some of your portrait videos, it seems like you're stuck. You add details, but don't understand how the simplified version works. Wow, Viggy, you are so awesome. OMG Slay King. Let's go. There you go. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's see. You add details, but don't understand how the simplified version works. Okay, well, yeah, I don't understand how it works, but one clarification I want to make is for my portrait videos, I'm literally at the most simple version. The art wad exercise is literally just look at the face and put a sphere on it. That was the first 50 reps, right? And then the second one was look at a face and then put a box over it. I'm simply going the extra mile of thinking about the box, thinking about the sphere inside the box, thinking about the center lines, right? Vertical and horizontal inside the sphere, inside the box, and then adding hard surface shapes to it because I'm interested in hard surface shapes. What this means is I haven't even landed upon actually doing the art wads like the features, face manipulations, the Loomis head, nothing. Like I'm taking it very slow because I really, really, really want to be able to consistently visualize those three layers of perspective, which is extremely difficult. So a year from now, I'll probably be at a point where I'm able to actually see those three layers, and then the fourth layer, which is the simplified features on top of the Loomis head, right? Which will also be contained inside the box. And then the fifth layer, which is to see the complex manipulated forms inside those simple forms, which are the features, inside the sphere, on the sphere, with the center lines inside of it, inside the box. So yeah, like I'm not learning faces right now. I'm really not learning faces. I'm just going the complete extra mile for my own sake because I love, I'm just super into hard surface, right? So I'm genuinely like when I tell you that it's the simplest it is, which is just the box and really trying to understand and just get down and hold the visualization of the references that I look at for portraiture, like people's faces and the box and the sphere inside the box and the center lines, right? That's what I'm doing, right? It's not about drawing faces right now. It's about getting the pure fundamentals um, of that shit. There you go. That's an explanation, right? But yeah, I hope that makes sense, right? There's no I fuck something up. Yeah, there's no actual portrait learning happening right now. Not in the conventional sense, right? But yeah, like the simplified version is actually just the sphere or just the box. I'm the one adding all those details on top of it purely for ideation and trying to just create interesting hard surface designs, right? Which is why I'm also technically practicing form wrapping because I'm trying to visualize a box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, and then wrap hard surface-esque shapes around it and just learn design through that all. Right? It's not about the face at all in terms of like the actual features, but this is I believe it's going to be a great foundation for just being able to consistently visualize and place features on top of a space that you can just hold in perspective, right? But either way, okay, what the fuck else? It had like something jutting out. Ooh, okay, so we can do something like this, right? So we'll do something like this. What are those cable thingies on top? I don't know. I just thought maybe like it's something that's holding this mech, right? Nothing really crazy. I couldn't really think of anything. It was just like, okay, a cable is just something that's holding this mech, attached to the mech, keeping it grounded. Whoa, this is cool. Hey, thanks, Evan. I remember you, Evan. But Troubledos, does that make sense? Does that make sense, Troubledos? Reduce the details to understand the shape in a simpler and easier way to understand and continue learning other things. With something more simplified, it's easier and faster to test different angles. I see. To understand the shape in a simple. Let's see. Reduce the details to understand the shape. I'm gonna have to disagree with some of that, but I do understand what you're trying to say, right? And this is the beauty of everybody learning differently and going through their own journey. That's actually funny enough. That's the path I'm on, is realizing that I need to play with larger, more graphic shapes when it comes to wrapping around that sphere, right? But I will not continue learning other things because I'm going to stick to one thing until I get it, right? And in this case, I'll be doing this for years, right? So there's no rush. I'll be spending a lot of time on Arwad's portraiture and figure for like the next 2, 3, 4 years, but it's going to pay in dividends when I'm able to draw things. Because again, like I'm able to draw something like this because of all the time I spent on just that wrapping the sphere around hard surface things. Like all my hard surface designs have come from those 20 hours of essentially just practicing hard surface shapes, right? Around a sphere, which I was slowly expanding and getting better at inside the box with center lines and all that shit. So everything has a purpose, right? And yeah, I am learning to I'm definitely learning to try to figure out how to simplify the shapes, right? I definitely I completely agree. I do have a tendency to draw things very very detailed, right? And I think that's quote unquote my style, which is what is style? Decision making, right? So I'm not hiding behind saying like, oh yeah, it's my style, but I'm saying style is decision making, and clearly my decisions tend to lean towards excessive detailing, which is something I need to work on, right? But I like that Tyrion kind of consoled me because he saw this drawing, Broken Draw. He saw this drawing um last stream and he was like, "Oh damn, looks sick." And I'm like, "Yo, help me with the detailing, bro. Like I'm fucking around." And he's like, "Honestly, you the whole point is to be able to see detail more than you can actually to be able to draw more detail and to be able to see more detail, and then you start making decisions on what detail is more important." Right? So I'm just kind of at that point right now, just trying to figure it out with the detailing. So I don't disagree with that at all. I know that it's something I struggle with. But regarding like the learning other things, I've just found I've been learning so much better when I just stick to one thing, right? And I don't find it boring. If the concern is whether I find it boring or whether it's a waste of my time, nope, I don't believe it's a waste of my time, right? I mean, results have proven that it's not a waste of my time. I'm able to draw this because I spent 30 hours, additional 30 hours practicing hard surface shapes. Like that's just a no-brainer, right? And I'm getting better at portraiture because I'm consistently able to visualize the sphere in the box that all portraits are comprised in, right? So it's none of it's a waste. Let's see, something like this. I don't know, right? Generic wrapping of shapes. But this is definitely something that I want to make sure. Bro, I'm gonna be right back. Cool, cool, cool. Right, so just a good movie. I don't know any good movies. I don't really watch movies, I guess, to be honest. Let's do some rounding here, maybe. Right, and right now I'm at the point where I intentionally do draw every line, really, because yeah, personally, right now I'm clearly at the point where I just intentionally draw every line because I want to make sure that I understand what I'm drawing, right? Abstraction, style, decision making comes slowly, right? Comes slowly, and I'm okay with that. I will literally take my time, but as long as I'm putting in constant effort, that's all I give a shit about. Let's see, it comes around there. That's probably incorrect. I think that's definitely incorrect. Actually, Good Will Hunting, my favorite movie. Oh, I watched that during COVID, like 2020. That was a good fucking movie. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Right? Best scene ever. I get to meme it with my friends all the time. Anytime they do anything that's not their fault, I just start crying and telling them it's not their fault. Okay, so that's like the little tank thing. Um, but obviously I do need to let's see, maybe something like this. With that much detail, your style is really going to be cool. It'll look a bit like Junji Ito. I've gotten that. My girlfriend has mentioned that like I tend to draw like manga, like especially his style. Again, it's not intentional, right? It's just an abstraction that my mind tends to grab, or a lack of abstraction, I guess you could say, right? That my mind tends to gravitate towards. But you know, like we will discover throughout just life and as time going on and me and whether I intentionally try to ensure that I abstract in that manner or whether I intentionally make an effort to like sort of quote unquote fix that abstraction or refine it, like we will see over time the evolution of my art, which is why it's an art progress channel, right? Which is A, making it very clear what work it takes to be good, and then B, making it very clear that like the path is just sort of how I'm going about it. Like this is my path, right? There's gonna be a lot of things that obviously will hold true. Like oh shit, fundamentals really are important, and he constantly keeps mentioning how we can enjoy the effort and keep putting effort onto the fundamentals. But there's gonna be a lot of other things that are gonna be particular to my journey. Like oh okay, he draws like this, he details like this, right? It's that's the beauty of art. I think we can all agree on that. Is like everything that's a skill does have rules, but just because they have rules doesn't mean that everybody plays by those rules differently, right? Everybody expresses those rules differently, if that makes sense, right? So that's where the nuance lies. It's not that oh, boxes are important and like simple forms are important, therefore there's only one way to practice them. No, it's like these simple forms are the foundation. Go wild, let your imagination run free. Everybody will go through the same path of getting excellent at the simple forms, just like drawing them and thinking about perspective. Everybody will go through the same path of getting good, and there is a required number of hours and required percentage of effort and consistency required to become excellent in those things. But beyond that, the nuance and how we achieve that, what we think when we achieve that, what type of effort we dictate towards one aspect versus another, right? Like, okay, for example, you know, it'll always be hard for a beginner when they're starting to have clean lines, right? And that's just a fact for every beginner. Like just having clean, confident lines, right? Not going over your lines a million times. Like for true beginners or just people who are starting out, that's just a fact. That's just how it's gonna be, and that's just how it is, right? But how each beginner goes about getting better at their lines, what they think, right? Like there's going to be that little nuance, you know. Yes, generally they'll be focusing effort on ensuring that their hands are stable. Yes, they'll be generally focusing effort on ensuring that they can visualize where their line is going. But how each and every one of us slightly differently, right, or even rapidly differently, go about achieving the same level of technical skill, right? The standard, the same level, that standard of technical skill is going to be particular to just how we learn. And there's going to be slightly different interpretations and micro efforts that are being put towards slightly different things. So the macro doesn't change, which is XYZ skill, but the micro and how we particularly go about achieving it does change, right? The macro, the effort we put in doesn't change. Everybody puts in a shit ton of effort. The micro, right, where those efforts are focused, how we think about that effort. Again, for me, visualizing is like on the page and a little bit in my mind. But I've also trained myself to see it on the page, right? Before, it was mostly in my mind. But again, I trained myself because I found to be able to see it on the page a bit more impressive for me. Like personally for me, I'm like, yeah, I want to be able to do that, right? So it's all trainable too. But anyways, that tangent aside, I hope that makes sense. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying, but hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. Let's make a cutout here to make this very clear that, see, that line was a fuck up. There is like a distinction, right? There's a clear distinction between these. That does look like a tank. Doesn't look like a good tank. I don't believe so, but it looks like a tank, which is cool. But yeah, perspective issue is already there. Like this thing doesn't really make much sense, right? But maybe I can. And again, this is my quote unquote style. Look at me, I'm already fucking noodling and be like, maybe I can add some more form indications. Oh, like as if that makes a difference, right? But let's see. Okay, but now this really sets in scale. But the scale is obviously clearly a bit fucked because this tank should have been a lot bigger. Because look at that person. So this is like a mini tank. Another thing I want to improve is my mindset for drawing for longer periods. Yeah, mindset is a skill as well, right? So what I can tell you is just again, like the number one thing that's constantly worked and that's scientifically proven to work is focus on the effort. Like literally, that's the number one thing that's proven to work is just to focus on the effort, right? Because that's all you can control is the effort that you put in. So that's why do you think I keep saying the same shit? Focus on the effort, focus on the effort. Effort is all that matters. Keep telling yourself that the effort is the only thing that matters. So if you want to be able to improve your mindset, a mindset is a response to a stimulus. Stimulus is whatever external factor, external occurrence is happening that you need to consistently be aware is occurring in order to respond to that stimulus appropriately. In layman's terms, when something occurs, you need to be able to recognize that thing's happening and then act on it with the thing that you want to behave like, right? I made a shit line. That's the stimulus. I made a shit line. Perspective is off, right? The response is either, oh no, I feel like shit, frustration, which is literally, objectively, scientifically hindering your ability to learn and neuroplasticity, and you're not actually getting better. Like you're literally blocking yourself from learning when you think like that, or to train yourself to be like, amazing, I'm in effort, I'm in error, right? And then when you finish a session or when you even doing it, you're just like the effort is all that matters. The effort I'm putting in is all that matters. Yeah, and that's how you get good. That's just how you get good. Yeah, mindsets are it's all trainable. Everything is fucking trainable, right? Let's see. How does that really work? I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe we'll just encompass it in this half-ass little thing. That doesn't really look that good. Right. But yeah, Charlotte, I mean, I hope that helps. Right. Again, if you want like actual tangible advice, Huberman, Andrew Huberman, just type in growth mindset essentials. It's the 40-minute condensed version of his growth mindset podcast, and it breaks down all the science of how this shit works. And for me, I love knowing how it works because if I know how it works, then I know it works, right? Then I know our brains and our bodies can do this, and that makes a huge difference for me. But again, at the end of the day, even if none of this shit was, scientifically backed or whatever, it objectively is just good for you. It is better to enjoy making mistakes for your mental health and for your own learning journey. It is better to focus on the effort for your own mental health and for your learning journey, right? So, right, voice crack. But let's see. I want to do like, yeah, I mean, these don't really look like proper spheres or proper cutouts. But what can we do? Maybe we can make a cutout like that, right? Or maybe these are just lights. I didn't even mean to do that, but I guess these ended up being lights, which was a complete accident. I was thinking about something completely different, right? Bomb? Oh, as in like it's good. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Are you new, Sergeant? Are you new? Reach. I like to notice what I don't know and practice until I get better. I started drawing simplified bodies because I want to draw people in scenes, and for that you also need to understand proportion. Exactly, exactly. And there's always gonna be a million things we don't know. That's the beauty of it. Like you mentioned, right? Like I have trouble with detailing. Therefore, I need to constantly be aware and focus my efforts on trying to understand larger shapes, right? It's all part of the process. But and that puts me in the uncomfortable zone to improve. Yeah, 100%. Like right now, I'm literally trying to remember what random shit that I see. I'm pretty sure I saw something like this. Like it's hard to explain, but I'm pretty sure I saw something like this, where it was kind of like a rail or something, and then it had something attached to it, like a box. With maybe little details. I don't know what it was exactly, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure I did see something like that. And maybe, let's just say, like this is the part, I guess, where we need to kind of make up detail in a sense. Are you that Korean guy? Kim Jong, what was his name again? Fuck off, Parkit. You fucking cunt. Why, what's with all the glaze? You want something from me? Because I can't give it to you. I have no money, right? But it's so kind, so kind. Yeah, this is like random details I'm adding to be like, oh look, it's it's fancy. For a second, I thought this was like actually somebody who wasn't one of my fans calling me Kim Jong-un, and I was gonna be like, oh, that feels so good. But it's true what they say. At first, I was like, when I got 100 subs, I'm like, dude, 1,000 would be amazing. Now I'm at 1,000, and be like, all right, on to 5 million, right? And that's another thing. Like, I still want to always stay appreciative of all the people who support me, give me feedback, give me criticism, right? Because my life is so different than it was a year ago just from starting something small like YouTube, and it's become so much bigger. Now I have people who literally believe in me and say things like, yeah, like you're gonna kill it, you're gonna fucking be huge, or like, dude, like your art is insane, or like you're gonna go far. That stuff I never have heard in my life for me, right? Like I've never gotten that type of encouragement, so I always appreciate it quite a bit. What do I want the back to be like? Okay, well, oh yeah, let's figure this out. Okay. It does look like a tank, which is nice. Which is really nice. But what I'm trying to say is I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you. But you know, now that we're done being, as Santa Claus would say, queer, right? In the truest sense of the word, happy jolly fellows, right? Let's get back to drawing, which is a war, right? David Goggins mentality. Everything is suffering. Yay. Okay, so I don't know what I was doing here, so that's obviously a mistake because if I don't know what I'm doing here, then I don't know where to take it. But maybe that's just an opportunity to add some wires and shit, right? And maybe this is where I can actually try to think about composition. Who's gonna carry the pencils? Exactly, nobody, because we all use pentaru brush sign pen artistu pen, right? We all use that, so nobody's carrying pencils. Who's gonna smudge ink on their cocks? Every single one of us. Let's go. Let's fucking smear, right? Let's see. This does look like an interesting tank. I don't mind it. At least I got the general idea down, which is larger shape, smaller shape, and then thing jutting out with this. But I would like to maybe add like a receptacle for carrying something just for my own sake. And Kim Jong-il is really fucking good. Like a lot of artists are really good at giving white space, which is something I do struggle with, right? Like they're really good at giving um yeah, like leaving white space. Like Kim Jong-gi is so fucking good at that. Same with Katsuya Terada. Peter Han's also really good at it. But Peter Han actually, funny enough, had the same. He's mentioned that he has the same issue I do, which is just he does add a lot of detail, and he's like that comes easy to him, right? So he's actually like in the last year, I was watching a stream. He said he was actively working on not doing that. So I'm like, damn, hashtag relatable, right? Hashtag relatable. Shit. But this is like an extra thing. This is not part of the tank design that I saw on Pinterest. But see, because I made a mistake with the perspective, as you can see, it's diverging from this. This is how we can just bring it back and be like, look, it was intentional all along, right? And you have to make those noises. If you don't make those noises, then people are gonna know that you fucked up. So that's another hashtag Viggy tip for you, right? Soon it'll be more than just the tip, but for the time being, it is just the tip. So can't have everything. Can't have everything. We gotta be careful, right? Maybe you should leave more white space if you try to take light into account. Details are lost in shadow and light. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I understand that conceptually, like from like a oh yes, makes sense perspective, but it is because I don't think about light right now because all I can do right now is think about line, form, design now, like silhouette, right? Like the functionality. Like because my mind is preoccupied with those things, the additive of thinking about light, which is something I don't even understand, is too difficult, right? And by too difficult, I don't mean that like I don't want to do it. I mean I literally don't have the brain capacity to do it right now, which is why I'm kind of just frauding things. And which is why like it's very clear I'm extremely amateurish in my understanding of anything that is in line form. Um yeah, line form and perspective, right? And even those I barely understand. So yeah, it's all a time thing. Once I go through Arwad's painting roadmap, I'm sure light would make a lot more sense to me, right? Light would make it. This is why like a lot of the things I do, like this shit, is just based on what I've seen other pen and ink artists do, right? Because I don't understand it, but it's like, hey, it seems to look nice when they do it, therefore there must be something to it. But do I understand it? Absolutely fucking not, bro. Absolutely fucking not. You know, like, and I'm okay with that right now. I'm okay with that right now because I can't do everything at once, right? I'm just trying to learn and observe, observe as much as I can, right? Let's see. Maybe this is carrying one of like the parts for this guy. Maybe it's carrying, uh, what is it carrying? Maybe it's just carrying like another face, right? This is actually a good opportunity to well, actually, like that's actually a fuck up completely because I did not connect it properly at all. So that is a fuck up. But you know what? We'll deal with it and it'll look a bit off, but it's fine, right? It's all good. It's Gucci and the Gango. But what time is it? Oh, it's already fucking 3. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. But I don't even know what I was trying to do here. What should this turn into? Ah, fuck it. Maybe we'll just make it like little tanks. There you go. Maybe, and then there's like one. It's because it's nice to mess with perspective, right? And be like, oh, they're not all even, you know? Little rockets or some shit. Which it's hilarious because these rockets don't even fit into the thing, but we can be for this. It could definitely be rockets for this, right? So, and then I guess I'll just do some hatching because when in doubt, I don't. Whenever I don't understand anything, like or I don't know what to put in the background, I just hatch, right? And it's pretty genius because it looks like ass, right? And then everybody's like, why did he do that? And then I just continue to hatch and ignore it all. When I lose it all, lose it all, lose it all. We'll just draw over that, pretend like it didn't happen. Um, but I hope you guys are drawing or entertained or whatever the fuck. Or maybe I actually like this session. I'm getting good feedback and suggestions, and I'm basically just telling them all that no, I will not. Right? So I still get to stay in power, and that makes me feel good. Exactly as art should be, right? Exactly as art should be. Never take criticism. Always come up with some really verbose reason as to why you can't do the thing they suggest, and then continue drawing, and hopefully nobody notices, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave that white space there. I think that's pretty good. See, again, like tendency to try to detail everything, but this is like, this is decent, you know? And just for like slight detailing sake, right? It's just like, oh, look, maybe this is, okay, this is obviously way too big here, so and a little bit of outlining here, perhaps. What did I do? There you go. Just pretend like I didn't do that either, right? Maybe it could go down there. Maybe that's just like some sort of tag or whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. Carrying rockets for maybe the robot. Maybe that's the. I watched part 2 of season 3 of AOT with my girlfriend today. She was shocked by all the deaths. Oh yeah, 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 dude. God damn it. God. I mean, no spoilers, of course, but AOT, oh, mwah, peak, peak. So good, so fucking enjoyable. Right, just as like a spectacle, it's so enjoyable, right? Maybe a little tingy like that. I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to add more depth. Maybe like that, right? But then I'd have to have it add a add it here. It doesn't seem to be necessary. Look, we'll leave the tank. So that's the tank, right? What do you guys think? Not bad. Pretty interesting. Sets the scale a little bit, but it's like a tiny tank, clearly, right? I didn't really try it as large as I could have. And now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna really scale back, and we're gonna draw another one over here, right? And we'll make it slightly different, of course, right? We're obviously trying to. Fuck, man, it's actually 3:15. Can I even finish Can I even draw a second tank? I can start a second tank. If you guys are okay with me not finishing it, then I will do just that, right? But I do want to start the second tank. Let's see. What maybe I can just. Oh, yeah. Let me do some indication like that, right? There you go. Something like this. Not that I know what this is actually doing, but it's fine. It's Gucci. Oh yeah, I forgot to. There you go. Forgot to close that off. That looks interesting, I guess. Looks okay. Um, let's see. So let's try a second tank, and because I really want to think about scale, right? We can try a second tank here. We'll make that a lot smaller. So that way it's like, okay, it's like it's really, really foreshortened, right? And I do want to foreshorten, and I want to practice foreshortening. Again, it's a skill, right? So we'll have this tank, not this exact tank, but we'll rotate it, and we'll make it a lot smaller. And we'll make it around here. Let's see, and we'll do something like this. There you go. That already makes it a lot tinier, right? Yeah, that makes it a lot tinier. Draw Godzilla inside the tank. Fuck off. Fuck off. What the fuck do you mean draw Godzilla inside the tank? I'm already struggling to barely fucking understand the foreshortening. You want me to start adding things inside of it? Right? Here we have someone who doesn't understand that I'm completely and utterly retarded and incapable of drawing anything, right? Please, I'm not the artist that you watch to be like, wow, they're so good. Give me fucking 15 years. And then maybe you'll be like, oh wow, they're so good. Maybe, right? But I do not turn to this channel for the next 10 years to be like, oh wow, I'm learning a lot. Oh, they're really I'm understanding. It's like, no, no, no. There's none of that's happening. Okay, literally none of that's happening. Not yet, anyways. At the power of yet, Carol Dweck. As long as I keep coping and saying yes, one day something will happen. Ah, shit, see, I'm already fucking up the thickness of this. But I obviously think this tank in the background should be less detailed, right? And this is a great exercise in spatial reasoning because I have to think about how this is all connected. Godzilla fighting the tank? Maybe we can have Godzilla. Maybe we can have a monster creeping up in here, right? Maybe, actually. And that'll be a good exercise in abstraction as well, and like keeping details hazy, right? So this is important because now I'm going to use this tank as a reference to try to see what I can do in terms of just. But obviously, like it's going to be slightly different, you know. Like already, I'm going to make it so it's like this instead, right? Like instead of this type of covering, it's going to be, I guess, what is this, a hexagonal, right? Hexagonal covering. And then something like this, right? There you go. And that will be the thing that is covered. That makes no fucking sense. Jesus Christ, what did I do? That makes no sense. Bro, that makes no sense. Oh no. Here, we'll just fraud it again. There you go. And then we'll bring this up. There you go. See, guys, I lost the and girls, but I lost the perspective immediately. So that is normal. When you're shit like me, that is very normal. Okay. This looks ass. This looks so bad. But we gotta continue. You know what? Fuck it. It's not a tank anymore. Clearly, I fucked up to such an astronomical degree. So what do we do? Like, what do I actually do? Oh, maybe actually that makes it better. Never mind. We just had to cover that line. There you go. That fills the eye a little bit better. Yeah, my lines definitely need work. Here we'll add, Parkit said add shadows. I don't understand shadows. Is that Godzilla? Yes, this is Godzilla. You got it. That's 100% Godzilla. All right, that's what Godzilla looks like in my dreams, right? So obviously I fucked this tank up, but we can still save it if we forget that I fucked it up. Right? See, if we just pretend like I didn't make a mistake, then that, my friends, is what living is all about. Never hold yourself accountable. That's the first thing my parents taught me. Oh shit. Ugh, there you go. See, fucked up the perspective again. We'll just add shadow here to be like, haha, it was all intentional all along. Yeah, it's quite. And then we do something like that. And same thing on the opposite side, right? And it's time for the percolator. There you go. Now we just connect like so. And there you go. Connect like that. And then again, keep adding bullshit. Keep adding bullshit, and one day it'll make sense. Does not look like Godzilla. Though you should try drawing it more on Godzilla-like. Cool looking, maybe. I appreciate it. I'm trying really hard to make it Godzilla-like, but unfortunately, Godzilla doesn't want to look like this, so can't do anything about that. Trying to think. Because, like, obviously this has to look like it's in the same space, right? I feel like I fucked the perspective up, which is what I say. I think I say that, like, what, every 5 seconds? Oh, I think I fucked the perspective up. But let's see. Let's continue onward with trying to make sure this makes a bit more sense. Right? Well, it doesn't have to be exactly like a tank, but I think having some sort of tank design language would benefit this greatly. There you go. Something like that. I feel as if that's completely off perspective. It doesn't really look like it's part of the scene. So what we need to do is start adding wheels that make it look like it is part of the scene. And we'll start by doing this. Oh, I actually know how I can fix this. I can just do this. There you go. And then it will turn around. Right? Something like that. Wait, but wait, it needs to be more. There you go. I did fuck this up quite a bit, so we just have to kind of figure out what we can do to make it not seem like absolute garbage. And this is probably going to be very difficult because I literally messed it up quite drastically. So you guys are watching a really fucking horrible mistake in real time, but this actually looks like, dude, it looks so bad. It makes no sense. How can I save this? Like, actually, how can I save this? Oh, wait. Maybe I can save this. Okay, if we get that design language down, it's just looking the opposite way. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, it's not as if I knew what I was doing, so it's always nice when you don't know what you're doing. Did you find spare time for fucking? Why did you have to spell fur like that? Did you try? No, like I mean, I haven't been doing it much. Definitely like it seems the weekends is when I'm gonna be able to do it properly. So that's why I'm trying to. I'll probably be doing it, especially because today I'm only streaming, and then Sunday is just gonna be mainly yeah, Sunday is gonna be mainly doing like my recording for the week, like a couple hours. So I'll probably be doing it tomorrow, today and tomorrow. I'll try to find some time for Challenge 52, right? It's fun. It's actually a really good challenge. I was thinking of recording my Challenge 52 on days where I get a bit lazy and I don't feel like doing my main drawings, but we'll see. I feel as if obviously detailing the whole Challenge 52 process would be helpful, right? But it is it is up to my disclosure, and my disclosure is shit, so it doesn't really mean anything. Okay, so this doesn't make sense. Just put the entire fucking thing in shadow, I guess. Right? There you go. Again, I don't really understand shadow, so it's not gonna make sense either way. But we'll see. Like the whole point right now is like, can we salvage this? Right? Because this is entirely just fucked completely. Right? So it's just like, can I salvage it? Can I find out what I can sort of just redraw over and over and over to make sense of it? Right? Like, can I salvage it is the big question right now. And I'm finding that it's like it's possibly it can be salvaged. Let's have a clear silhouette for this. Right. It right now it's just possibly. Maybe adding in again, when in doubt, I just fucking hash clearly. But maybe just adding in let's see if this is going that way, it's coming here, and it should probably stop around here, right? Yeah, there you go. So when in doubt, just hatch some fucking bullshit and the perspective might make a little bit more sense, right? Now this is clearly looking less tank-like, and perspective is off here. So this is why I love what Kim Jong-il would do, because he would just go with it. He would just go with it and he'd be like, all right, well, if it's shit, I'm gonna make it my shit. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. If it's shit, I'm gonna make it my shit. So that's already a bit more cohesive. Or that's definitely already a bit more cohesive. Um, let's see. You should totally draw Beast from ulti Beast form ulti from One Piece in a swimsuit. Who do you think I am? You see this drawing and you're like, yo, this guy's definitely gonna do some fucking some gooner bait. Like and subscribe. I will 100% do that. As long as you pay me lots of money on my Patreon. So I think scale is already lost because this is much bigger than this, right? Mao popular. You come here just to ask me to help you goon? Is this all I am to you? I can be that guy. All right. Let's talk dollars. We can everything can be solved with the right currency. Yeah, so this is definitely not looking in perspective at all. And it's actually my fuck up because I don't know why I made the wheel so much bigger. God damn, bro. This is looking and this is such a fuck up too. But so yeah, I hope this is good info for anybody watching. You know, it's helpful in one way or another. Like look at these intense fuck ups I made. Like look at that. Like just so bad. But maybe it can be saved. Maybe it can be saved if I draw message retracted. Wow, how dare you retract your message? Come back and subscribe, you piece of shit. Sergeant Kumbula. What is that? What the fuck is that? Blue, yellow, blue, blue, yellow, 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 blue, yellow, blue, blue. Holy shit, bro. We have a philosopher in our midst. I can't compete with this. Everybody go subscribe to him instead. Or is this nationalism? SWE? Software engineering? Okay, so the scale is completely fucked. And I don't think I can salvage it. So we'll just have to... Yeah, we'll just have to deal with it. We'll just have to deal with it. It doesn't make sense proportionally. This was a huge mistake. But it's just what it is. Let me try just... Yeah, I guess I'll just try having something. There you go. Something like that. Right, and then it obviously comes back. I don't know what to do with this design anymore. I just don't know I don't know what the fuck is this guy trying to say? I'm actually, guys, like, I'm telling you right now that I hope this is informative, that even if it seems like I know what I'm doing, I really don't. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And dude, like, yeah, the scale is so bad. The scale is so bad. Nothing's getting smaller. This was supposed to be smaller, and then I completely fucked it up. So, yeah, like the wheel is the main thing that really makes it look completely off. No, we can see. All good, bro. Right, yeah, thank you for confirming that. You can see how shit it is. Park it, my true fan. See, here's me just noodling because I've just lost all hope in my ability to draw. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, hopefully this is informative that, hey, no matter how good something seems, like, no matter how proficient one may seem, and I'm not saying I seem proficient, but I'm saying if I do seem proficient, right, I hope it's clear that I made an incredible mistake. Actually, so now we have to figure out how to turn this mistake into an opportunity, right? And that comes down to, let's see. How can we turn this mistake into an opportunity? Right? It's 3:31. I have piano in an hour. I still haven't eaten. So do I at least do something to make this seem like it was intentional? Oh, hold up. Maybe I can set skill in an even more fucked way. Right? Actually, I think I can. Hi, hello. Hey, Kafka. How's it going? How's it going? Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna foreshorten the fuck out of this. There you go. That's not bad. And then we'll do something like, right? I feel as if I can definitely, yeah, we can definitely turn this into something. Let's see. And we're just gonna ignore that. We're just gonna ignore this thing completely on this side. Okay. Right, and then what do we want here? Maybe we just want little fucking, I don't know, cutouts or whatever the fuck, right? Right, and then we'll just attach it like so. Let's see. Hi, I'm new to drawing and doing a 365-day challenge. Do you think it's possible to get good if I put an hour or two a day? Love your thoughts. Well, that's the perfect question for me because I got to this point. By the way, 3 years and 2 months of drawing. This is what I've achieved. Check my channel out. You'll see the last year of my drawing. And then there's also a video which showcases my first 2 years of drawing. And yes, I draw for 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. My first year, I drew for 5 to 7 hours a week. And now my first 2 years, I drew for 5 to 7 hours a week. And now during my third and into entering my fourth year, I draw for roughly 7 hours a week, let's just say. right? So yes, you can get good, but focus on forms, focus on lines, focus on understanding perspective, right? There you go. Now get the fuck off my channel, like, subscribe. Right, but I mean, I hope that helped. But yes, you 100% can, because that's literally what I do. I don't draw for more than an hour a day, hour to 2 hours a day. Let's see. Then we can make this. I think I've managed. I think I know how I'm gonna save this. I genuinely think I know how I'm gonna save this. Right? I just need to be a bit more careful. There you go. And then we will basically, if you can't see, I'm cheers, bro. Very much appreciated. Loving your work so far. Oh, thank you. Cool. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. It was very kind of you to say. Right, but I hope you can see what I'm kind of trying to do is basically, let's just say these are not the biggest robots that are on this page, right? 1 hour a day of intentional practice will get you very far. Consistency is the key. Exactly. In the first 2 years, it was an hour of intentional practice a day. That was it. But purely focusing on fundamentals. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Purely focusing on fundamentals. And through that journey, I learned how to love drawing the fundamentals, right? And to actually enjoy the process of learning itself. So Parkit is absolutely right. If the words like focusing on the fundamentals or purely focusing on the fundamentals, if that scares you, you have a mindset problem, right? Which is I don't want to do difficult things. I don't want to practice the things that are hard. And you can fix that because I fixed it because I learned to fix it as I was going through it, right? So anybody can draw. This sounds dumb, but what do you mean fundamentals? Okay, instead of me explaining it, search this up on YouTube because that, first of all, Artwod, ARTWOD, link in description. They are the people that I follow, right? Their program is what I've been doing. If you click on my channel, you'll see everything I do, 90% of it is their teachings, their online platform, what they've taught, okay? So what I mean by the fundamentals is literally just go on YouTube, type in Proko, Proko, how to draw anything in 6 steps, and you'll see a very handsome man with a mustache, beard, stubble, right? And it'll be like drawing from imagination, anything to draw from imagination. It has over 1 million views. That video to 1 year or 6 months or 4 months into my drawing journey, that video is what had me pivot to Artwad because that man is the founder of Artwad. His name is Antonio, and his philosophy is what blew my mind and made me be like, oh shit, this is the way to how to get good. So if you're wondering what I mean, just search that up. That's it. Just search that up, and that's exactly what I mean. Like everything he says is everything that I believe because it's shown to me that it works. You know, like I have put in the work to the things that he has mentioned to put the work into, and now you'll see that like, hey, I have achieved a relatively decent level of skill. So yeah, like he would do a much better job explaining than I would. But I hope this kind of looks like what I want it to look like. See, this is how we make a mistake, not a mistake. There you go. Actually, it is kind of looking like it, which is pretty cool. There you go. But Broken Draw 25 exercises are great. You can find it on YouTube as well. Exactly, exactly. And I just want to say, you know, like I contributed to those exercises. He was watching my videos when he came up with a good chunk of them. Therefore, I am your god. But no, like there's a lot of shit in there that I cannot do. So, like it's still mostly. I just want to be one of those people like, but I'm the one who came up with the joke, right? I'm insecure, man. Leave me alone. Anyways, let's see. Oh, and we'll have that's where I really started. That's where I really started a year ago. Could not draw from imagination at all back then. Exactly, and it's all based on simple forms. Do you think I would have been able to do this without fucking Artwad? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. Impossible. There you go, and then we'll See, I'm trying not to add too much detail. Like, I'm not trying to shade in all the things that I'm doing, right? Okay, wait, I'm fucking up the perspective, so we gotta make sure that that's still in order. There you go. Let's see. I hope this is starting to look like what I want it to look like this right here. There you go. Hopefully, right? Let's try to make it even clearer. It probably does, to a degree, probably does, right? And by the way, what's this individual's name? The Sanjeev the Sanjeev Shukla 1983. Yeah, please do not feel as if you're asking a dumb question because asking questions is how you learn. Okay? So please do not feel as if it's a dumb question. All right, call me Sunny. Okay, cool, sure, Sanjeev. As I was saying, Sanjeev. Yeah, all right, Sunny. Yeah, don't feel bad about asking questions because that's literally how we learn. That's how you knowledge plus repetitions. That's like the great equalizer, right? Having knowledge and then putting in thousands and thousands of effortful repetitions to fill the gap between what you think you know and what you actually know, right? So yeah, don't feel bad at all, please. I do like this type of shading, and maybe just for this thing, it will be worthwhile. I wonder if you guys can tell what I'm making here or what it's supposed to represent, because I did say it's not the biggest mech, right? It's not the biggest mech. These are not the biggest mechs that you see. So that's me trying to fix my mistake, by the way. This is not like anything I came up with on the fly. But yeah, this is just me trying to fix my fucking mistakes. Right. But yeah, watch that video, Sonny. Watch that video. That will tell you much more than I ever will. Okay, and then we'll do something like there you go. Okay, let's see, this is where I really need to get perspective down. There you go. That definitely makes it look a lot more foreshortened because we have to keep the distance in mind, right? And objects that are further away do look more condensed together if they're repeated consistently. Right, there you go. That already looks a bit better. Yeah, it took me 1.5 years to realize what the fundamentals are. Exactly. I'm actually very fortunate that immediately in the beginning when I started drawing, I had already understood what the fundamentals were, right? Because I'd already understood about drawbox and like all the things that they taught there, right? Like I'm very fortunate and lucky that the algorithm also showed me Artwad and the Antonio's Proco's Artwad video, right? Like I'm really lucky in that sense. Like genuinely, I'm really lucky because that is what allowed me to min-max the things that people see now, right? Like that is literally what allowed me to get to this point is the sheer fortune of knowing what the fundamentals were, but obviously also the understanding and the humility, I would like to believe, right? Or at least the wherewithal or whatever the fuck you want to call it, to put my fucking ego to the side and to be like, if I'm gonna learn something, I'm gonna learn something properly, right? And I'm not gonna fuck around and lie to myself that this isn't important, right? So let's not forget that part. Like you have to be very, 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 very willing to just put your ego to the side and be like, okay, these are the fundamentals, right? And I'm gonna learn them, and they're extremely difficult, and it will take me years to be even mildly decent at them. Okay, so maybe this is starting to look okay. And if that's okay, so this is a fist. What I was trying to do is a mech fist. Yeah, it's scary as I'll draw an eye, for example, and then get one done, and then I can't seem to repeat it. I've also kept a sketchbook to track progress. I'm telling you right now, just do Artwad. Just do Artwad. if anything, if you want an actual example of where the things I practiced took me, just on my channel, or just search up. Okay, first search up the art WOD video I told about, like the Proco art WOD video, and then type in, and then I have another video of mine, right, called "This is a video for beginner artists," and then in brackets, "You are not alone." That video is basically 95% of the drawings I did in the first 2 years. All right. After that, if you look at my channel and you go to starting by the oldest, that is basically like after those 2 years of that video that I show, like the 2 years of practice that I did, my channel documents the rest. And now you can just see what I've done. All right. So thank you for all the info. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Pocket was also very helpful. But yeah, like I just want to make it very clear as to the work it takes, you know, because it takes work. It takes work. And there's right work and there's wrong work. Right work, like, and again, I could be doing a lot of wrong work right now. There's a lot of things I could be doing wrong, you know? I've gotten criticism for the way I draw or the way I think. I mean, just don't give up. Exactly. Just don't give up. You can't fail if you don't stop. If you really try, you will make it 100%. All right? Jesus. Oh, man, it's 3:45. Okay, fucking, I gotta. Okay, well, does this at least look like a fist? uh, let's see. Yeah, so like if we're gonna make this work, we just gotta. There you go. There you go. See, so like it's a fist. Where is the thumb going? Up your ass. That's where it's going. Anyways, there you go. Listen, bro, okay? I'm not a fucking professional thumb drawer. Leave me alone. I also take criticism very well, so make sure to continue. There you go. Okay, well, it's 3:45. I have my fucking piano lesson in 40 minutes, so I should probably end it here, right? I made a lot of mistakes, so I hope that was helpful, because, like, again, this entire drawing is so fucking all over the place. Trust me, I'm gonna do my best to continue working on composition and drawing from space. And you know what? Next, drawing from imagination, I'm probably gonna try to keep it very simple. And I mean, like, genuinely, just basic geometric shapes and practicing scale. Right, so it probably won't even be a drawing from imagination. I think I'll just be practicing scale, right, and actually keeping things believable in the same scene, right? So this is basically me just trying to make up for my bullshit. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how this hand and there's like a face there, right? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that eye should have been a lot smaller, but is that the shit? Did I make that the fucking left eye or the right eye? Okay, we'll make it the left eye. There you go. There you go. It's the left eye. There you go. We'll do something like that. There you go. Okay. So that way it's like, okay, yeah, it's the right fist. What the fuck? No, that's the right eye. Never mind. That's the right eye. It just anyways. Okay. Well, how did you guys and girls like the drawing? Right? There's a lot of shit that's wrong. You know, I'm gonna try to draw some rubble maybe. Cause like, oh no, right? I failed at this before, but maybe this time it'll actually have a flow to it, right? Because it's like it's following the kind of gesture of things. It's like, oh shit, somebody punched through the thing, right? Somebody punched through the door. But I guess I'll leave it there for now. I guess I'll obviously have to finish this next stream, but it's something. Hope you guys enjoyed it, right? Hopefully it was entertaining at the very least. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna call it here. I still think it was really good practice, right? I learned a lot, I failed a lot, and that's what matters, right? Like I learned and I failed. So as long as I did that and I enjoyed the effort, which I 100% did, I believe it was a great session. And it always is a great session because I consistently strive to do that on the regular basis. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you drew along or did whatever the fuck you had to do when it came to watching this, right? But As always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. It's gonna end the stream. Back to fucking YouTube mobile bullshit. Goodbye.